Yes, and we're back with the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford, and once again, my good mate JP's joining me. JP's back. I seen you singing all night, big man, when I was away. By the way,
Aye, do you enjoy it?
do not quit the day job, mate. Just don't quit the day job. Just let me stick to the singing, mate. I'll stick to the singing.
Do you know, I was really disappointed the other night, mate, because Ryan, you won the own, obviously, which was an absolute blessing. Which was an absolute blessing in disguise. Don't get me wrong, but the big McCourt, swear to God, right, sitting there, and he's giving it all that to me. See, if this was the voice, I wouldn't have hit my red button. I mean, I was raging. I was like, no, you've done me. What's that all about? Do you know what I mean? But it's good to see you, mate.
I don't think Paddy was renowned for his singing, mate, to be fair.
Oh, man.
A lot of other things, but no singing. But
drinking was one of them anyway, I know that. I don't know if he was full when he said that to me right enough.
Well, that's why my fault was bust, mate. As you know, I was away the weekend. But I were back, mate, so obviously good to hear about Scotland, mate, yesterday. Fantastic news for the country, mate. But
amazing.
Again, I've seen a lot of people on social media try to down it, obviously, from the other side of the borders, saying that we're not good enough and how we've had an easy group. And listen, that is what it is. We've qualified and it's before them. So that's probably why they're not happy, mate. But as a country, it's fantastic, mate. And as the banner says, mate, at Celtic, we've got a top operating man in Rodgers. Excellent. Congratulations to obviously Cam McGregor, Greg Taylor, and other Celtic guys in the Scotland squad that have kind of took part over the last year as well, mate. It's a fantastic achievement.
Absolutely, mate. Aye, first of all, it's nice to see you back on, mate. I'm actually glad you're on tonight and Big McCourt's actually, because I might get a bit of a conversation. I'm only kidding on. The big man's brand new. He knows I love him, really. But
see, while you start, I'll go make your tea, right? Because I think you've missed. Right. I've missed this, so I'll go make your tea, right?
No, the thing is, I know. I don't really. People think because I wasn't here last week, I might have a lot to say. I'm actually quite a kind of plain type guy. I've not really got a lot to say. When I'm on here, it's probably the most talking I ever do. I'm only kidding. I'm only joking. It's no. I think there'll be several people would vouch otherwise, and would probably disagree with me. So, but no, mate. As I said, it's what an achievement. I mean, I think he's the first Scotland manager to win 5 out of 5. And we're there like right away. I think that's the first time that's happened as well, isn't it? We've got there kind of right away, and we've not had to go through playoffs. And I mean, even just saying that there just sounds mental. The fact that we've not had to play like 6 playoff games to get to the playoff final, and then have to play the playoff final and win the game in penalties. It's just
the next week to not playoff.
Then the next week, that's what I mean. Then the next week we've got another 4 legs to play, and it's mental just sitting here like just we're there and. No, we've got cigars and flip flops on, and some teams haven't even qualified yet, and a lot of other teams don't. Some teams don't know their fate and stuff. So, it's good, mate. But what an achievement! I mean, again, mate, I'm not surprised. I've got winners in the team, mate. You know, guys like Callum McGregor. It's Greg Taylor, big winner. I know. You say what you want about him. He's playing in a very successful Celtic team, and he's been there the last few years playing in it. So as I say, it only bodes well for the team. And when you've got that experience and guys know how to get out of the line, guys like maybe Kenny McLean, who maybe not used to playing with clubs that are successful at the top end of the scale, but when you join boys like that who push you on and they put demands on you, Ryan. They don't just push you on, mate. Guys like Scott McTominay, John McGinn, they've got that sort of mentality, even though they've maybe not won a lot in their careers, but they've still won certain accolades and certain medals, certain trophies. But I think they've also got a top manager in Steve Clarke as well, Ryan. I think he's showed that over he's had to learn a new way of playing, coming up with a new style. to fit Andy Robertson and Kieran Tierney both into the same lineup, mate, and then get results by doing it. Sometimes it doesn't need to be pretty, but he certainly knows how to get results, and I think we saw that when he was at Kilmarnock as well. So no, listen, very proud to be I'm a big Celtic fan, but first and foremost, I'm also a big Celtic Scotland fan as well. So it's something I'm very proud of, and regardless of what way I had a wee go, no a go, but I don't know if you've seen it this morning, I had a wee message to Gillian Ballack on Twitter. He was chatting about it's your pleasure and stuff, and I had a wee go, and I says, to be fair, Gilliam, I think you'd be more thanking VAR and the VAR team for the helping hand that you've had both last Thursday and then obviously last night. I says, saying it's our pleasure that you've achieved something for Scotland there is just it's baffling. It really is. You know, I think it's all in all, it's all you've done is sped up the inevitability of Scotland are going to qualify regardless. Because I firmly believe we're going to beat Norway. We'd have beat Norway at Hampden, and I think we'll get a result against Georgia. So, I do think it would only have been a matter of we only needed a point, mate. The chances of Scotland not qualifying were very, very slim. So, but what an achievement! And then obviously we're going to go on to talk about what you've mentioned there in terms of Brendan Rodgers and how he's a top class operator, quite a smooth operator as well, and you know, quite professional in everything he does. Don't know if you realise it, Ryan, but you're lagging a wee bit, mate. I don't know if it's maybe something to do with your signal range but you keep getting into screensaver mode on my wee screen here.
It's fine. Am I freezing?
You're freezing, mate. Maybe that is -7 in Glasgow, mate. That's probably why we're sitting here with hoodies and that on as well. So
I'll move, mate, back to the best spot in the house.
Back to the best spot in the house. That wee place that you keep getting stuck in.
I've still not moved for about 3 weeks ago. To be fair, mate, I'm still here.
Aye,
I'm still here. So,
but
I'm still here.
A wee comment early doors there for Anne Jem. She's second there what I've says.
All good now.
Looks like Ryan is freezing. I keep telling him to put the heating on, Anne Jem, but he's just no. He's no one for listening to any of the boys, so he does his own hangover, Ryan.
Should be fine now, mate.
You're all good now, mate. But how was your weekend, mate? Before we get into the
all good, mate. All good, mate. Obviously, I'm the big 3-0 next Sunday, so a few of my mates went away for a wee surprise jolly, mate, which is really good, mate. So, no, I enjoy myself, mate. But international bit's good, mate. But you do kind of miss Celtic. They football to watch, mate. So, a lot of drinking involved, but I'm not a fan of rugby, mate. And there's a lot of rugby on, and you kind of want football to watch. Obviously, it was good to get the Spain and Norway game last night when I came home, and like you mentioned, mate, for the in terms of Scotland, mate, it's a fantastic achievement. And like you say as well, these guys like the McGregors, McTominays, these guys in the team have got a wealth of experience by playing with top players, top mentality. I know Man U like recently not played well and they're going through a wee bit of a patch where they're not really winning things, but to play with that team every week and then come play with Scotland and help the guys, even guys like McTominay, they're no old players, but they're experienced because of who they played with and what they've done. So, no, listen, mate, it's a fantastic achievement.
There's a wee question for you, Ryan, early doors there, just to mix in with what you're chatting about there. Plunge is asking, would you take Steve Clarke, the Celtic manager? Different style, I know, innit?
I think Plunge, if you're going to get a different manager, you would then kind of need to whip up what we're trying to do as a club. I think, JP, I don't know what you feel, mate, but I think the way we are playing as Celtic are renowned for maybe not the best defensively because we score a lot of goals and we do concede some goals, but we're always been pronounced for scoring goals and attacking play. And
the boys are certainly getting to know your location, mate. So they are.
I'm definitely not there, by the way, Barry. So I think if I was there, I'd be sitting here with snoods and gloves on, mate. Which, by the way, me and JP in about a month's time, we'll be sitting here with hoods on and stuff because it's been -12 by then anyway. So, but no, on your question, Plunge.
Kevin doesn't believe you either. Look, he says you're more than 30.
That's Kev. That's because I've had the Mac 3, mate. That's why I look less than 30, mate.
Kev, seriously, I remember when he was 15, you ought to seen his size his paper run then, by the way. That's
I forgot.
He looks older.
Aye. After a bad paper run, aye.
Poor boy's front wheel, his BMX rolled after and doing a big kill.
Barry, that BMX, whoever's house I'm in still here as well, so I don't know who, I still don't know whose it is, to be fair.
You're not in the Ibrox trophy room, are you?
No, because that person up there's not there. I've not got a random photo of some random person in the dressing room. But no, Steve Clark on the question. I think he's actually, in a serious note, JP, he's went up in my estimation as a manager because I didn't think that he'd be in any kind of calibre of to go and manage Scotland. I know he'd done well with Kilmarnock, but going for Kilmarnock, I know he's managed at top class before Kilmarnock and he's worked with Chelsea, Mourinho, and he's had a fantastic pedigree as a coach, but managing Kilmarnock and got to Scotland, it's a big jump in terms of having to manage internationally. It's a change of the full time. Obviously, he's probably still full time because he's probably still watching games. He's still trying to do things for the national team. But if you're going for full time football as a pressure manager, like even the Commander, it's still pressure to win football games in Scotland, and then it's a change of style for him as well. So, and he adapted very well. He's adapted his defensive role. He's kind of trying to make Scotland more attacking. But like I've said to you, mate, I know it sounds silly that we've qualified, but I think we're maybe I know these guys are qualified, so it might contradict what I'm trying to say here. But if you could go and buy defenders, you would go and buy better than McKenna, Hendry, and Potus. You would, but because that's just the level we're at in Scotland. That's the guys you've got with, and that's your country, and you've got to pick for what you've got, the same as other countries. But what he's done is he's made them all into they might not be the best or technically, they might not be the best of players, but he's made them into a team, and they all want to go there and play, and they want to go. Like when we spoke to Baz when he's been on, and Baz says when Stratton was a manager, he all went, even though he was injured, guys who were in the squad, they all just went for the team, and people love going. I think that's the way it's getting now. Guys want to go and play with Scotland now. They want to go to, obviously, Elliot Anderson. Is it Elliot Anderson his name is? Then they want to go. But guys love the training. Guys love going to play with Scotland. They're starting to look very, how do I say it? It's no very...
He's made them more like a club team, hasn't he? He's made them like a family. He's made them a sort of... Because it's the same squads he keeps picking all the time. Like
but on the question, Plunge, if anybody else got any questions, it's a free-for-all, fire away, lads, me and Jai, and girls, females, male, fire away tonight.
No, there's a couple of wee comments going on in there about a white telly. But where are we getting that? Like, I can see people saying something about a white telly. Danny's just said, looks like a white telly. What looks like a white telly? I'm interested, Danny. I have to know. I feel like my eyes out of still game. We have to know.
Is it my door frame? I'm
not sure. I don't know who he's talking about. It could be what's behind me. I understand it. Aye, that's not a white telly. That's a door frame.
My telly's no.
Definitely not a white telly.
No, it's one of the ones that...
I don't know if genuinely people think you're being serious in terms of the fact that you've been stuck in this house for weeks. And
oh man, look in
Ryan's window.
Door looks like a
telly. Aye, see behind you. Obviously, your mirror's up on the wall.
Oh,
so the reflection. Aye, the reflection. Oh no, see the reflection on your mirror.
No, that's my setup like for.
No, see behind you. See behind you on your mirror.
That's it looks like a wee for the half ten show.
Aye. But it looks like a wee. It looks like a wee telly. It's no. It's the actual door frame.
That's where I stick my. What I've no got dodgy thing. That's what I stick up there on that telly. You know what I mean? That's what's tucked away.
Aye.
But no, on the Steve Clark. Sorry,
I've had to go to the boat with that there, because I was getting a bit lost for the comments, and I'm like,
no, with Steve Clark, JP, I think I can get what Plunge saying. Would I take him? I think you would need to kind of change the dynamic of club, JP, because the way we are going, it's going to be a free-flowing attacking manager.
Ryan, I was actually going to ask you, because I was interested the way you were going with that there. See Steve Clark, do you think he's adjusted himself as a manager in terms of he's now used the squad as, and he knows he's got good footballers on his team, so therefore he's adopted his tactics.
Obviously, I did say to you, I think we're missing. Obviously, it's not a transfer window. You can't go and buy players, so you're probably missing two very, very, very top class centre backs and probably a very, very good clinical striker away from being a top national team, because the midfield is very good. If you guys in the midfield who are playing top clubs,
Wales one of the best of teams, but we don't have
Gareth Bale.
We don't have anybody like that,
And even though I know he played for them across the water, but when Aaron Ramsey was at his peak with Arsenal and playing with Wales, let's not kid a kidder, JP. He was a very, very good football player.
He was a very good player, but at the time he came to them, you're better than Gordon Ramsay.
But with guys like Bale and Ramsey, and like even Wales in the past, they've had Bellamy, the Hartson, God bless them, Gary Speed. They some of these teams all had top players, but maybe knows as a team, but they had individuals, and we're starting to maybe get individuals now, mate, that are coming into a team.
Yep. No, absolutely, mate. I think with the Scotland team as well, there's a familiarity there in terms of numbers and same bodies. Like I said to you, he keeps picking the same team all the time. It's a kind of nucleus of the same squad. I know the day I seen the day that the boy Max Johnson's been called into the first team now because Hickey's pulled out, and obviously Andy Robertson got that injury against Spain.
Where did he go? Sturm Graz?
I think it was, mate. Sturm Graz. But he was a very, very good player. But we spoke about him when he was here at Motherwell, and for me, we've also got a very good friend in William, and we spoke to William about it, and I think the boy's a very good player, and I think that's a big boost for the boy. I know he come in, might not be a big boost right enough by the time we see the France line up on Tuesday night right enough if he's getting a game or no, but when he knows he's up against Mbappe, but that's what the boy wants, that's what he's coming in. I know Scotland, I know there's no things like transfer markets and this and that, but I think the reason no Tony Ralston plunge is because he's not playing every week with Celtic, mate. Max Johnson's playing week in and week out with Sturm Graz, and he's probably a bit more match fit in terms of prepared to play the now than probably Tony Ralston would be. That's probably why Steve Clark's opted for that. It is a position, plunge, that we're also becoming a wee bit more blessed in terms of the fullback positions, because we've also got the boy, is it McDermott? I was reading about him there. There's a boy McDermott who's also a right back as well, but he plays in England somewhere.
Dermott?
Yeah.
It's not Brian McDermott, is it?
No, it's not Brian McDermott, mate. No, it's not McDermott, no. It's not that McDermott.
Big Dermot O'Leary. Tonight, Steve, I'm going to be...
It's no Dermot Desmond either.
Aye.
But it is a position we are becoming a wee bit more blessed in terms of numbers wise, plunge. So that's my only thinking there. I think he's picked the boy Johnson, one, because he's rapidly improving. Ryan, I also think he'll not be far away from when we see Ben Dokes there as well. I think he'll be another one that's coming into the team. And again, if that boy improves, then we could look to see him pushing into the Euros team. I know it'll be highly disappointing for the lad if he can't get himself in it, because he'll be wanting to do that, especially if he can play some.
See on Ben Doak, obviously
Liverpool.
Obviously we watch Liverpool, but not every game, but when we're on telly and we know much about Ben Doak. But do you think that boy could play up front?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
he just looks very comfortable.
Could he be an option for you?
He's not he doesn't need to be. I was going to say he doesn't need to be the tallest right enough, but he's certainly not the tallest to play for the middle.
I'm just trying to think of maybe options because
he would give us that more speed. And he would allow us then to high press as well. We would allow us then to press.
It's just my opinion, mate. Like, I know that Nisbet's done okay at Millwall when he's in there. Shankland scores goals at Hearts, but it's just my opinion, mate, that
they're not even getting near it, mate.
That's what I'm saying. Dykes and Adams, I think they're stronger, they're physical. I think they're good players. Obviously, for me, Dykes like Celtic, they went no that bracket, but he fits a European style of play. The European style, sorry. The international setup, Dykes suits it. Adams,
can I answer that now, Ryan? Can I answer Barry now? Barry, I don't think so, no. I've listened to an interview with Kenny Dalglish.
I think he was already gone to Liverpool, wasn't he, no matter what?
Yeah, I think he was gone, mate. I don't think it would have mattered to the Celtic manager was, but as I listened to an interview with Kenny Dalglish, and it was more or less Kenny letting the cat out of the bag, saying that he'd spoke to the wee guy's family, and I think told them all about the way when he moved down to Liverpool and how his life changed, and when that sort of dream gets sold to the wee man. He said, and this was Dalglish's words, no anybody else's. He said the wee man's face lit up like Blackpool Pleasure Beach when he was told the story about your life can change, this, that, and the next thing. So I don't necessarily think it's anything to do with who the manager was at Celtic, mate, because again, mate, it was Ange Postecoglou.
But that's the thing as well, JP. Like,
it's not as if it's
people think that
an amateur operator.
People are just all of a sudden, again, we're fans, so we don't see everything behind the scenes, but people just go, he's away because it's money. But if this is already planned and behind the scenes, we don't know what Jurgen Klopp has told him. He's in the Liverpool team, right? As much as we love Celtic and we want to keep a young talent and we want these guys to maybe stay for a few years, learn your trade, get experience playing with Celtic. Within nearly a year and a half, mate, or 2 years, he's playing with Liverpool's first team and potentially he's going to start playing games in the Premier League. So, on behalf of that, he's probably made the right call for his career because he's no sitting on the bench and no getting on. He's no in the reserves every week, no playing with the first team. He's actually integrated with the first team now. Yeah. You've seen, I know it's only social media, but all the Liverpool players are writing on his stuff, and so they must really like him, JP. And Jurgen Klopp came out and said he's a superstar, and the boy's not 20 yet, I don't think, is he?
I've seen games when he's played with their development squad. His levels above that. Like he's already levels above some of the young boys at Liverpool at the moment. I mean, and some of the young boys at Liverpool would probably come to a Celtic first team and do very well. But that boy Ben Dokes is quite ahead of the crop there. I listened to Andy Robertson just before the Euros. He done a wee interview for TNT Sports, and I can't remember. It was that Andy Townsend. It was interviewing him. And Andy Townsend was chatting with him, and he was talking. First one he mentioned was Ben Dokes. They all call him Dokesy. And Van Dijk, I know he was another one. He's unbelievable. What a talent! Like, so to be fair with you, Baz, no, I don't think it would have mattered to the Celtic manager was, mate. I think the wee boy's head was already maybe turned, and probably more a lucrative lifestyle in the end for him. Not just for him, for his family as well. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, he would have probably had a belter of lifestyle with Celtic as well, and done things properly. But I just think it was too far gone, Ryan. I think that when Kenny spoke to the boy and sold the dream to him and his family, I think the wee guy's head was already turned. But listen, he's a Scottish player, so it'd be good to see him playing in the the Scotland team if he's the next one that he's going to be absolute quality. I know Steve Clark's ranting and raving about Ben Summers. I've heard him speak about Ben Summers. So he's another one that's shown a lot of right good promise. We've spoke about him, Ryan. He's probably one of the ones that you would probably go, right, okay, the boy could probably come in and look comfortable, and he doesn't look miles off. There's other boys there that, you look at your Cameron Harpers, your Oko Flexes, mate, they were miles off it. Miles. Boy Summers has played and looked very well and played in positions like Hatate with Matt O'Reilly. Played with that kind of level of quality. And I think he's probably the next one, especially from Celtic. I'm led to believe the other lad, Mitchell Frame, is the next one that, Celtic see potentially being around the first team very, very soon. But there isn't many, mate. And that's it, Ryan. I'm afraid, mate, the gap between it, mate, is night. It's like the Grand Canyon.
That's something about.
I know the boys on loan now, but I would say the boy Summers, for me, is probably the next go-to. What's the lad's name? He played in Japan. He done very well, I know. The right fullback. He got injured in Japan. The boy gave him a bit of a sore face. He's out on loan. I'm sure he's out on loan. Is it Ben something?
Oh, what's his name? Oh, I know.
If anybody can, he's another one. He's one of that. I knew there was another boy in my head.
Left or right back, wasn't he?
Right back. Aye.
Ben. Oh, what's his name?
If anybody in the comments can,
was it his eye or something got done, wasn't it?
Was he? No.
What was his name?
Danny, Ben Summers is a midfielder. There's another one. There's another boy called Ben as well.
Is it Cars? No.
It's no Cars. No. His first name's no Ben, I'm sure.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. I know who it is. But I can't. Are you sure it's Ben? Was it no Mitchell McPherson? That's it.
McPherson.
Cheers,
Ben
Vincent.
McPherson.
Aye,
Thank you, Vincent. Aye. Cheers, mate. Thanks very much.
That's it.
Been hiding his face, Tim. Aye, no, it's not that one, Tim. But Ben McPherson, that's it. He's another one that I know I've heard Brendan speak very highly of, and so definitely. But again, there's only maybe one or two, maybe three tops, Ryan. I would say, these boys are ready to maybe come in and be party squads.
That's something we spoke about.
There isn't many.
No, that's something we spoke about at length, obviously, due to the season we won't talk about. But Harper and Oko Flex, when the time was to come in and shine and put yourself out there.
Miles away.
I know as a squad we're miles away, but they looked like...
No, they looked close physically.
I know they were young boys, but they just looked miles off it. And I think this is why sometimes I'm even saying some of my friends, and we've spoke with it.
What was your big boy, Ryan? Sorry to interrupt. What was your big boy come in round about? Dawson. He looked ready. He looked physically ready.
Ange played time against St Johnstone. I was against Barkas, played in goals. Beaton played at the back. Big right. Dawson. Physically,
I think was on the bench.
Has he not done his ACL or something, the boy? He's done something a long term.
I was going to say,
because he's not been seen for a while. I think it was the start of last season, done it. I think, or the end of the season or so, done it. He's a bad injury, young boy. Yeah. So, and he looked tall. He looked imposing. Maybe not technically because he's only a young guy, but he looked. Did he not score? Or did he have a good game? He had a good game anyway against Johnson. It was a good game.
Sure, he had a good game. The boy Dawson, In fact, is he not related? Is his uncle Michael Dawson that used to play for?
I don't know.
Or the big boy Dawson that played for Spurs? I'm sure that's his uncle.
Sure. But no, I still say, mate, that I can see why people and us as fans, why we don't keep my best players and why this and why that. But you've got to remember, why are we still buying young players? That tells you that there's something still missing, because if you're youth Celtic, or I've spoke to like Madge and Lewis, and they've said when they were younger, everybody was tremendous and they were fighting to get in the first team. Or that doesn't really happen much now. Like very often now, the guys on the bench in Europe, just for the obviously the quota and everything else, they're not really on it because, like, the boy Morrison's not on that because he's ready to play first team football yet. He's on it because
that's the
he's
same
got to
thing
be
I
on it.
mentioned there. Danny's saying, Ryan, about the boy Frame. He's been
Aye,
linked to
no,
Tierney.
that's true.
Aye.
We've seen that. I think me and Danny actually spoke about it. He's getting good reviews and stuff like that. And the fact he's on the bench and stuff, it tells you that maybe he's running about the first team. But if he's training with these guys every week at training, he's got every day. He's going to get experience. But eventually, you've got to throw a guy into see how good he is. There's only so much reserve games, or not reserve games, 21s or whatever, these low B teams you can play before you actually get tested. Because like me and you have said, JP, and it's absolute no disrespect to that league, because that's I'm not playing there, mate, so I can't say nothing about the league. But as a fan, for our young boys to just continue to play in that and no get up the level, you're not going to develop. It's all right training with McGregor and Hatate and O'Reilly, but then you can back down to play at that level. Keeps you grounded, 100%. I want to go up to that level, but like I've said to you, mate, if these boys are only beating these sort of teams, how can they then step? I don't know.
And then they're going and playing against Atletico Madrid. And
I know they still can, right? They can still go in individually, they can still go and date, but we thought guys like Bosun, Lawwell might come in and play. And for me,
he's doing quite well, by the way. He's meant to be doing quite well.
But 2 or 3 games with Celtic, first time I was like, he's miles off it. He's miles off it. Before the boy Shaw came in, the boy Osas, a big strong boy. Before these boys might be upcoming, and again, we've bought young guys for Sheffield Wednesday. We've bought other guys for other clubs abroad and stuff.
Oh, what was the name of your favourite?
Aye, Big Osas. But we're buying guys for other clubs, so it tells you that I know you've got to buy to improve him, and it sells them on. It helps the money, it helps your club, but.
Was he man of match for you against Betis, wasn't he?
I don't know where he was man of match. If he was playing FIFA or something, or champ manager, isn't the game? Mate, people were saying he played well.
I thought his energy was. I thought you would have been inspired by his energy. You know,
mate. I can take a car boom with that energy. Doesn't mean I'm a good player. Do you know what I mean? I can make chicken and balls of protein, mate. I'm not a good player. I'm finished. My knee's done. I'm finito. That's the full thing, knackered.
Oh, my knee.
Oh, my knee. Where's my stick? Ryan didn't buy it. Oh, yes, I did. I bought a stick.
I've got it, maybe.
But no, I think I'll let you come back in, mate, on that. But I do think that it's that would help Scotland as well. And that's, I said, I'll put this to you, mate. And the viewers and kind of listeners that want to answer as well in the comments. I know somebody who messaged me, says, Ryan, I know you did the podcast and stuff. Here's a question for you. His name's Stephen Miller. He does watch the podcast, so I'll give him a wee mention. He says, do you think
David Kenny, is he?
Oh, definitely no, mate. He's one of us, mate. So, no.
Right, okay. By the way, so was Kenny at one point, if you remember right.
I think he forgets that he ran and scored against Rangers, remember that with the badge. I think Kenny forgets that. If he gets it, he was one of the kissing badges. So, but no, he says, JP, what do you think about? Obviously, we've qualified now twice now. We're starting to get up a level in terms of up and coming talent coming into Scotland, and we're getting better and we're qualifying for things. Do you think that maybe he says to the general public, and I'll answer this to you, to actually ask us, do you think because in terms of there's more Astro Parks now, there's kind of better grass parks out there, there's more facilities, kind of letting people in the last few years kind of play football? And I know the prices, we all know, JP, the price and stuff, and they're locking the gates and stuff, but there's more facilities, more running about now than maybe there was 20 years ago for players and young players to go and play out in the streets. Oh, I know we played in the streets, but his question was, do you think because the facilities are getting better and there's more opportunity for players to play football, that's maybe one reason why there's more up-and-coming talent?
The Football Monitoring Board are just telling me here it's the one and only time that we're doing homers anymore for our pals. So for now on, we're not allowed to change the script.
By the way, if you want homers, I'll see you at 10:30.
Aye. By the way, be careful. By the way, it's Badges a Homer Simpson.
By the way, I'm setting the mood for the 10:30 show. Look. Hey.
Sentiment for Halloween with red candles, man. Aye.
So you got yourself a candle, Frankie.
Right said, Ryan. I'm too sexy for his candle.
2 secs for double denim.
Aye, deeply about that hoodie.
No double dipping, no.
Aye, deeply dipping with a sherbet dip.
Double dipping and double denim.
Aye,
Oh,
any more dipping and
Jesus,
dabbing,
man.
you'll sound like a scat man.
Any more dipping than Taco Bell dipping cheese in it, man. Jesus, man.
Dipping your marshmallows into your jar of Stella at home.
That's there. With Vincent, JP.
What did I say?
Michael
Thank
Dawson,
you. I knew I didn't imagine that. Thanks, Vincent. Honestly, that's twice a night you've brought my sanity back to me, honestly.
Thank you, Nori.
Aye, thank you, Nori.
Not my surprise.
Thanks, Vincent. Appreciate that.
Oh, brilliant.
Where was I? Aye, sorry. So the football monitoring board says it's the one and only time that we'll change the script just to appease one of your pals. And so tell Mr. Mallory he better get in line and get in queue and join the chat the next time if he wants any questions being asked. But listen, mate, I just think that you know, I get what you're saying in terms of a lot of facilities have improved.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice to see that, Ryan. But they need to make it more accessible to kids because instead of cause any spare grun now, mate, they're just building houses and they're making it harder and harder for kids to go and actually get a club to play football in. I mean, see, when I was a wee guy, mate, my mum loved it. She used to give me £2 and I'd disappear for 2 days to football clubs. That was a boat. And you,
that's a boat behind the school.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say. That's 6 Cronenberg at the end of the class. I know behind the sports centre.
Packet of Haribo, I can't iron brew.
Honestly, see that £2 that got you your pound football for 4 hours or whatever it was, and then you'd enough money there for a poke of chips or a can of juice during your session or whatever it was you were eating. You know, I'll be back in the day. Sometimes you would keep it and, like you say, buy a carry out or buy a cargo or buy whatever it is you wanted at the end of the weekend or whatever. But I just hope my ma doesn't watch us because stick myself in here if she does. But like I said,
when I'm going to get myself a caramel.
Aye, 2 caramel chews and don't tell my ma.
I can mind see at school.
My ma thinks I'm at a play scheme.
But I can remember seeing that because I was younger before. Obviously, I'm doing my day job now. I worked at the SFA and we were obviously doing coaching with the young kids. I was only 21 myself. I was only 20 young. I was a young boy, and it was up Mr. Sports Centre.
There you go. You sound ancient, JP. Well, in terms of times when it comes to money, and
it's
£2 used to be a lot of money. It used to get you a long way. Don't forget, I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s as a kid, going to play football, and I'm nearly 40. I'll be 40 in February now. So it's I know maybe to some people on here, they'll probably say I'm still a kid and I'm still young, but nowadays, £2, you'd end up owing somebody money if you took £2 out of you.
I'm sure when I done the coaching JP for the Wains, I think for
cans of juice for 25p away back then.
I think we done it was so I worked for 5 to 7. She done 2 sessions, 1 hour, and I think it was like £3 or £4 for an hour for the kids, and I thought that was reasonably okay for the standard of coaching. It was you were getting was obviously I was apprentice for the boys, so the boy I was working with was like I worked with guys like James Grady and stuff, and they were doing the coaching. And I was just assisting, so they were getting top quality coaching for like maybe £3 to £4. And for me, JP, that's nowadays it's maybe for like a week, like October week or the Easter week, whatever. I know it's my club and Celtic, mate, but Celtic are charging kids maybe £80 for a week, mate. And I know they're getting top quality coaches, but what you getting with that? Are you getting? I seen actually, who was it? I seen actually.
That's what I'm saying. But see, way back then, Ryan, there used to be
Aye.
clubs accessible to you, like in local sports centres or recreation
I don't know
centres.
if you've seen it.
And like Baz says, yeah, like when he was younger, they played street versus street. So did we.
Aye.
But you know what it was like, Baz? You would know that yourself because your ma would give you a couple of quid and you'd disappear all day. And it would get to like 25 to 12 at night and your mum and dad be coming and looking for you and you'd be away in another bit of the scheme, away somewhere else playing a game of crosses with your pals.
I'm sure I've seen it on social media. There's, I don't know if it's East Tower Sports Centre. They're doing, I think, for a week. I'm sure it was something anyway. And for, I think it's £15 a session, but you're getting a hot meal with that as well.
Well, there you go.
And so that's what I'm saying. That's really good because, let's be fair, up Easter House stuff, even when we here, mate, at East End, not every kid gets hot meals, mate. So they're getting coaching and a hot meal. So it's a good incentive, mate. Come and get a hot meal and come enjoy your football, get away from your worries, mate. So that's a good. I'm sure East House Sports Centre, mate, and I don't know the company.
There is severe irony going on in this pod tonight, by the way. Look at this comment for Ann Jem. The old Tim Bob note plunge, remember that well? Now she's saying, Ann Jem's saying I'm ancient.
And I'm 10 Bob. I'm 10 Bob from a half 10, so is that cheap?
And by the way, he doesn't take notes. The only notes he takes is the one you want to leave at the end of the night.
But see, you come at half 10, so you need to bring my note for permission saying you can come here.
The only notes I used to get is the ones for the PE teacher. Please excuse JP for his buggered off to the chip van hen.
Their lines, I am a bad boy. I am a bad boy.
I must not eat a hot dog before I play water polo.
See me go abroad. Water polo? No, you're all right, mate. You're all right. No, you're all right.
Take the ball off him. He's a boss to put and sit down.
Aye.
Water polo.
Water polo? No.
Yeah. I set the goals up. Do you want a game? Know what I mean? One of the ones. He's a boss, sit down.
But then it gets to the end of the week. I'll play, big man. I'll play. Let's go.
Aye. Then it was what was the one and all? The shooting. Anybody for shooting?
I'll shoot you.
The guy shouts across the pool. Big man's freestanding a Glasgow. That might not be the best option.
Aye. That's what I'm here to say.
There's more chance of him getting up and bringing his case down and giving you an option about rifle you want.
AK-47 like that, boom, man.
Stunning, man, like that. In the middle of Tenerife, like that. It's a game of Call of Duty.
Aye. Oh, bro.
Aye. That's the first time I educated that guy about a game of COD. He thought I was talking about fish.
Aye. You said I'm going to battle you. He's about the fish.
Aye, what a game of aye. Somebody's phoning the police. That guy just assaulted a bag of chips.
Oh, Jesus, man. Oh, brilliant.
Don't get in there. It's a hostile area. The big man just ate a cheeseburger for water polo and spewed his ringo everywhere, man.
Oh, brilliant, man. Brilliant.
The wee pool lifeguard out with the big hose.
What a polo!
Why he's a shiver, son? There's no water in my room.
Don't play water polo. No, you're right, mate. No, you're right.
He's a boy and sit down. I play water polo.
Go back up that chair, go away.
Go and you sit up there and listen to David Hasselhoff podcast.
Aye. Oh, brilliant.
But no, mate. Listen, the clubs nowadays they definitely need to make it more accessible for kids instead of us charging crazy prices, man. I know what you're saying there in terms of you get a hot meal and stuff like that, but I mean, a lot of kids nowadays, mate, are deprived for being able to gain access to these clubs and stuff like that. And I just wish, like, the way it was when I was growing up, there was a club on every other day. Used to come in for school and I mean, I was always one to tell my man I never done any homework just so I can go and play football. Then it got to the end of the week and I had about 5 different subjects worth of homework still to be done, man. And you end up shooting yourself in the foot and your teachers realise you're not doing your work but want to play football. And That was it. It was it was a vicious circle and round and round you went.
See that? I think that's lost now as well. You don't really see a lot of. Mate, honestly, mate, I'm 30 next week, right? And see if I could still play football, mate, I'd be still near my local park playing football. And people think I'm being silly. I love football that much, mate. That
just standing down there yourself with your headphones on, like,
just on there going, "What a polo!"
an inside out farm foods bag with a carpet ball hanging out the bottom of it. I've had this bag for life for the last 15 years.
But I think it's all changed now, mate. And I think the way, like, mate, I know for a fact if me and you were still playing football in terms of it, you still be out playing, you would still be want to kick a ball, and mate, that never leaves you. But I think the generation's changed now, and I think unless you're really apart, I think again I could be talking about a turn, mate. So if you think that I'm not saying it right here, then come back in, mate. But I think these days, unless you maybe start, I know years ago, I think Ian Wright didn't come professional till he was a certain age when he was older. There's certain guys who come professional years ago when they were a wee bit older. I think now, unless you're playing at some sort of level before you make professional, i.e. Lowland League or whatever, a high junior level or whatever, very rarely now do you just come in and get full-time contracts. I think you need to start roughly maybe get to an academy when you're maybe 10, 11, 12, and then build. Very rarely now do guys that really picked up the boys club. No, I think now you need to go through a certain pathway. I don't know if I'm wrong on that, mate, but I think football has changed now. The way I think you need to be just not a pure athlete, but you need to have. I think it's a different skill set now. For when I was younger, mate, you could be the best. You could nobody fittest, but see if you were talented, mate, or fired away. Like I say to you, mate,
it's definitely changed, right?
When I was at Thistle, like I said to you, mate, it's all changed now. When I was, mate, my warm-up was doing 10 laps in a school hall or run for a whole complex and then go and play. It's all changed now. That wouldn't happen now.
No, definitely no, mate. I think it's all changed because, like, I played football with a guy, mate, and his pre-match was always a Big Mac meal. And, like, you wouldn't get a member that go to games now, mate, sitting eating a Big Mac in the bus and try to hide it for the gaffer as well. Sitting on a bus with his Big Mac like that.
Oh, no, man.
It was always up near the back and sitting eating his, and as I said, it's. And then obviously after the game, he would have. He would always go to like the Brewers Fair. So that was always his thing with his dad. Like, on a Saturday, we'd always go to like the nearest Brewers Fair. But no, I'm the same as Kevin. Like, that's what we used to. We were just fit with daft. We were, jumpers down for goalposts. And Kevin, I remember at school, mate. Sometimes, like, if it was one of the boys forgot a ball, you were scrushing up an old can of iron brew and using the bottom off it as a wee. It would turn into it looked like a hockey puck. But that's what you were playing. That, And what we would always do is, like, we'd always try and, especially if it was raining, we'd always try and look for the biggest puddle, try and kick it in the puddle, and then the dafties go to run in and jump in the puddle to get it. Know what I mean? Then we'd always jump round about the puddle and splash the person that was in the puddle we'd call it the ball, but it's not a ball, it's like the can of iron brew. But it's, as I say, mate, that's how football daft you were way back in the day. But I think in society now, mate, I think you've lost that. Yep. I think we've kind of lost that. I think there's certain elements of hunger and desire that's got to come within the individual as well. They want to do it. And I think it's kind of lost now because, again, accessibility issues and all the rest of it. I think a lot of kids are mainly put off now. And technology's got a lot to do with it as well, Ryan, because you've got all these fancy iPads and Kindles and laptops and computers and PS5s and PS4s and all the rest of it, whatever kids can get their hands on to get on the internet or these smartphones that, they can chat to their pals. A way back in the day, mate, it was a CB we used to use to talk to my pals. We didn't have phones. So it was, you actually used to physically have to walk round the scheme to go to your mate's door to see if your mate was coming out to play.
Aye.
So, and way back in the day, I know, like, if you just say you met one of your mates' mums or whatever, you'd never ever go, oh, how you doing, Margaret? All right, how you doing? It was always, how you doing, Mrs. Smith?
No.
Or how you doing, Miss? I mean, I still see older people that I'm used to seeing for in the scheme now. The ones that are lucky and fortunate to still be alive, and I still see it. You know, all right, Mister Smythe, how you doing? All right, Mrs. Smythe, how you doing?
Yep.
I never ever says, oh, all right, George, how you doing? All right, Francis, how you doing? Because it was all respect, trying, you know, and like you never ever spoke back to an elder, like when you were younger. Either it was just something that, you know, but games of Kirby and all that and all. It ain't me a ball. I just if you had a ball, you could make up a game, you know.
Yep.
But Mum will take shots each to hit the next person that comes out as close. Who hits the close door gets 10 points. Who hits a woman gets 5. Or
A game
that,
of
you know, just
a game of red arse.
a game of that and all. Aye, a game of. And if you, and by the way, see if you'd one like mine, you were going to aim like a map of Japan.
Obviously, you're talking about Japan. Obviously, international boys and all. You've the night as well.
Yes,
Mikey Johnson. Obviously, touch on that, mate. Obviously, before we get
oh,
finish up that eventually.
We've not touched on Brendan, really.
Aye, well, that's it's kind of goes into work with Brendan. You can kind of add that in, mate, because obviously Mikey Johnson's back with Celtic now. Obviously. He's not really played much, but he's still.
He's actually scored. He's actually scored tonight for the Republic. Aye, they're winning. They're currently winning 4-0 at the moment.
Right, brilliant. So that'll help him, mate. It will put him out there for the manager as well for obviously the weekend's game.
Scales played at centre back tonight and not left back as well.
Right. So what I'm saying, well, obviously Liam Scales again playing with Ireland. For me, if Brendan Rodgers didn't come in, mate, and we didn't get obviously the injuries have helped him, but if he's not come in and played the way he has, he wouldn't be playing with Ireland again at this capacity, because we were talking about not going on loan to Aberdeen or getting loan and nobody at Celtic, but the fact he's playing with Celtic now, I think JP, that's as much as I still don't think he's potentially going to be here the longer term centre back as yet, in my opinion. But listen, I've been proved wrong so far, so I'll be happy to prove wrong again. He's doing what he's got to do.
Every time you say that, they get new contracts already.
I know, so I'll just say, James Forrest, know what, you're finished next week. You deal for James Forrest. I'm on, no, again, get the bleach out again, man. No
as if they watch us and then go like that, we need to give him a new deal.
I'm like, salt and vinegar, Chris, and bleach next week again, man. You're joking, man. But no, on a serious matter, mate, I think it's...
Any blisters? I've got a couple of packets of pickled onion here if you want them, mate.
But I think in terms of varying development, mate, for Mikey, it's good he's playing, mate, because he's not playing with Celtic at the moment, so it's match fitness for him. Obviously,
no, definitely.
I'm not saying he's going to be in contention for the weekend. It could be, but it gives him minutes for the next weekend's game, then the next week. So it's giving him the next week, more than 90 minutes. So it's giving him game time, mate, that he's not getting in at Celtic, and obviously it's giving Liam Scales more game time to keep improving, keep his confidence, and again, it just shows you, JP, that I've always said, football, you can score a goal in 2 minutes, mate, 10 seconds, whatever. Football changed like that, and Liam Scales' careers went from maybe no playing with Celtic again to now playing, in fact, again, getting beat with Darvel last season, and now he's playing against Feyenoord, possibly Atletico Madrid, playing with Ireland again. Just shows you, mate, how quickly football can change.
Absolutely, mate. I don't want to start blowing trumpets again, but when he played in Japan, I had a conversation with you, and you sort of, I think your response to me was, are you on a drink, big man, or have you done a weekender on the booze? Because when he played against Yokohama, and I says, I think he's going to be a big player for us this season. And you says, are you on the drink, big man? And I think I says it to Big McCourt and that as well. And Big McCourt to ask me, was I on the drink? That was a contradiction in terms of I've ever heard one, by the way. I'm not kidding on. But aye, as I said, it's, you know, and then to just say that, you know, because I said it with confidence as well. If you remember right, I was on the chat, and I think I mentioned it to Barry Byrne and on. I think a wee man asked me to get an appointment with my GP at the time. Remember?
What made you?
Remember, he did actually say that to me. He says, how many hours sleep do you function on a night, big man? And I says, what do you mean? He says, because you're just not right. And then was it last week, he texted us and he says, big man, I need to say that I apologise for noising you up at the beginning of the season. He says, because you've kind of proven I just seen something in him, Ryan. I don't know what it was. I just, when I seen that in him and I thought, right, I think he's got to be a big... And then he played against Wolves. And you liked him that day as well. Then he got to Balboa game and he was outstanding. And I said again, I went, right. I said, right, he's coming into his own. And then I remember the morning on another group chat that me and you are part of, the team lineup gets announced for Ibrox. And you remember the way the chat was going in terms of, oh, that's it, the season's finishing, and all the nonsense that was getting said, and things that, people saying, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. The laugh that we were all having back and forth. And he was outstanding. After 10 minutes, the Celtic team took control of the game, and, he was outstanding that day as well. And he's just grown since then. Performance-wise, he's got better. And then that interview with Rodgers after the Kilmarnock game, Ryan, where his first word there was, he's outstanding. I've got no qualms about Liam Scales, right? I really don't, mate. I said it when I seen him early doors in the summer. I think you can see a player in your setup, and you know the way the team's going to play. And if you see a player and he does very well, then you've got a guy you can go to there. And I think very early on, Rodgers has realised that he can trust him. So again, in terms of being a top operator, Brendan didn't have to do that interview about Liam Scales, but when he was asked a question about Liam Scales, he answered honestly, and his first words was, "Well, he's outstanding."
See,
so he's one of my biggest surprises as a coach.
That shows you as well, and I don't know if anybody's watched obviously the Beckham.
2.5 years ago, Ryan, he was playing with Shamrock Rovers.
That's what I mean, aye. So,
and again, I don't like to be disrespectful to anybody that's going to be watching. They also like Shamrock Rovers. I'm talking about their levels. He's now playing the Champions League, and international football.
The kind of Beckham documentary, when obviously with Beckham and Hoddle came out and criticised my public and Fergie when I did that. This is what I'm saying. Managers nowadays, we all know what's happening across the water. They've come out and been public criticised. Players have done that. That doesn't happen at Celtic. In that game with Rodgers, he's done that. 1, to give him confidence. 2, it's very good man management. And 3, he's done it for a reason. He's not just come out and says he's been outstanding because.
First bus have actually ran out of services and that mob have been flung under him.
Too many times, mate. But it just shows you, mate, in my opinion, Brendan Rodgers, like you mentioned, the way you mentioned the game at Ibrox, mate. For me, I know we get beat, obviously, after Kilmarnock in the League Cup. But again, do you know that game, I look back, I don't know what you feel, mate, but that game reminds me, at the start of the season, your teams come together, you're playing, maybe like, it wasn't the case of qualifier, but I had that feel about it. The teams are all over the place, we weren't really playing well. But now, I think if you played that game now, I think we would win the game comfortably.
Yes.
Because the team's a bit more settled. Injuries are starting to come back. We're starting to look more of a team. We're starting to get a bit more of his stamp on it, where it's not as passive as it was at the start of the season. It's a bit more free-flowing.
We've also got that new signing, and what's he called? Hatati.
Aye, him as well. So
he's like a new signing.
But the thing, I don't know what you feel, mate. I'll let you back in on, but put this to hear, mate, is I think the game at Ibrox was when you seen by far the difference in quality of the two teams, but the difference in how Michael Beale is a top coach, but he's a manager, and there's a manager. He's an elite manager, and that, let's be fair, mate, that was a man against a boy. Like, in terms of ages, they're not massively far apart, but in terms of stature and eliteness and the way they are at their craft, that was mate, nobody's really talking about that. Like, people I've spoken to, I think it's the first it's been mentioned in podcasts or anything, nobody's really talking about how the golf, and not just the quality of player, mate, but the operators at the club.
Yeah.
You had a guy at his level, and mate, tactically wise, like I say, even against Lazio, mate, his tactic was spot on. It's just certain things in a game. But for me, JP, that game, I think he loves the big moments. He loves the big games. He thrives after big. He thrives. I'm not saying he thrives on saying get it up, but he thrives on saying, "Oh, I've just proved you wrong. You can doubt me." But I still say that game at Ibrox, mate, was I think the game where fans are going right. Maybe it is the right guy to come here because he's starting to, in my opinion, mate, he's starting to motorways, and I think it's not going to be beneficial, mate, that this wee break as well, it's given him more time to look at the squad, to look at the team, and again, mate, I think he's class, JP. I've said it we spoke for day one, as soon as his name was rumoured to come back, I'm like, it's a no-brainer. I don't care what he's done in the past and what I've said about him in the past. We've all said things in the past. Right now, mate, what other manager would we get that's going to fit what we want and to fit in with the budget we've got to fit in? It's, for me, mate, so far as it stands, it's been the right decision. It's shown to be the right decision. We've not beaten Hang in the league yet, we haven't beat yet. So just shows you, mate, so far, and it's been a very good start for him.
Yeah, just came back to that game at Ibrox, as you said, Ryan. I think that was the reality setting in, and you know, theory getting into practice was, you know, we were depleted in numbers as well. Let's run it back. We were depleted in numbers, and I think the team, you know, certain individuals like your Callum McGregor's, senior guys, they'd have probably been getting in there going, we're not at full strength here, but we'll do our best. But Lagerbielke and Scales were absolutely phenomenal that day.
For him as well, he's scored for Sweden. He's played
with
Sweden and all instead of Starfelt.
So again,
he's the bench.
Even the lad Yang, I think Barry Bannon highlighted it as well. Me and him were chatting, and we spoke about how him and Ralston playing out for the back, 1-2s, and coming out and doing it calmly, kind of very similar to Manchester City in the way they play a high pressing position. And I think they started to grow confidence with each other, right? When they realised, right, okay, we can do this, okay, aye. And they've went in there and they've thought to themselves, Jesus, that or this mob's got to really bring to the table, is that all I can do, right? Okay, right, fine, okay. And again, you know, for then, I mean, by the way, I'll be back in, people were saying we weren't playing well. We went there and we never even conceded a goal. So, and to be fair, apart from shake hands with our goalie, I'm not too sure what Joe Hart done that day, if I'm being honest. If somebody can maybe enlighten me a wee bit, I can't really remember Joe Hart being busy. I did see him walking out the tunnel, he definitely was there, but I just don't remember what he done that day apart from shake hands with Jack Butland. No, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm, and somebody corrects me and says, no, JP, don't remember he done that. But oh, he did, sorry, he did do something else. How silly of me. He took a drink of his water. I forgot that as well. I forgot he done that as well. And he rubbed his gloves with his towel, through his towel behind the goal. Oh, that, he never really done much else. But in terms of that game, Ryan, I firmly believe that's when the Celtic team started to believe again in one another in terms of, right, okay, we're senior pros, aren't they, here, right, okay, so these boys are coming in. All right, okay, these boys have showed that, yeah, these boys are good enough to come in and be part of the group, and, you know, and I think for then, mate, you've just seen it grow. And I think boys like Scales have emerged onto the scene. Lagerbielke did play, get flung into the deep end and had to play some right crucial, vital games for us at that point. Came through it quite well. And then, you know, as we moved on, Hatate came back into the team. And people are saying, oh, he doesn't look interested. I watched him against Kilmarnock, mate, and it didn't look like a guy that was, you know, ready to leave or thinking about doing anything else. And I don't know if you've seen it, Ryan. Did you see his wee video clip for Japan? The ball comes to him.
I've seen it on Twitter, aye.
Does his wee turn and switch of play. it's just effortless, isn't it?
Sorry, maybe question, Mel, Brian. Francis, put that to yourself, mate, while you're speaking.
Do you think we should get a director of football, and who would you bring in if and when Brendan leaves? To answer your question, Francis, no, I don't think we should have a director of football because we have an active similarity there in terms of Matt Lawwell. He's a head of recruitment, so that's kind of a very similar role, except it's a different job title. I don't think the director of football role is a particularly good role when you've got a guy heading the table in Brendan Rodgers or Ange Postecoglou or guys of that ilk, because I think there'll always be, unless they've managed to bring these guys in themselves, there's always going to be a wee bit of friction there, mate, because the manager might have something else in mind, and the director of football is probably pushing something else along the table towards him, and so I'm not quite on board with that director of football role. I think we're fine doing what we do. It's took us a long time, Francis, also to build what we're doing at the moment and operating the way we are. And I think we were asked a couple of weeks ago on here, Ryan, in terms of, we've only got Brendan Rodgers back because he's a Celtic fan. Is that what you think? My answer is no. My answer is it's the way Celtic run and operate as a club. Because if you look at the managers that over the last few years we've been linked on, we were linked with Eddie Howe. And Eddie Howe was nearly the Celtic manager at one point. So, and there's a reason for that also, Francis, and that's the model in which Celtic work and operate from. We've now had Ange Postecoglou. I mean, okay, we didn't know much about him, but the people at Celtic knew about him and went and got him. And you see what he, obviously, Ange, you see what he is, and then obviously you see his CV, and he's a top operator also. The reason why we can attract these type of managers is because of the model and the way that the club work. It might be different for other clubs in the league or whatever, in terms of there is always a certain chain of managers that directly be linked with certain clubs. And there's a reason behind that. It's because of the way the clubs run. Fortunately for us, and unfortunately for the rest of the league, we don't have dinosaurs operating in the background.
Well, that's what I said. That's the conversation that we had on the. We had a conversation last week on the phone, and I said to you, apart from Tony and Mowbray, out the last how many years have we actually had a manager that's not really worked?
Yeah.
Andrew's worked, Rodgers worked.
But that's why
we still won.
I'll go back to Francis's question. He's asking about a director of football. Another particular reason why I don't think we need one, Francis, is that if you look at when, Ryan loves bringing it up all of a sudden, but I don't like to talk about it. The season we lost to 10 in a row. We bounce back very quickly, Francis. Why? Because of the model we operate from at the moment, mate. It's the model that allows us to do it. Not to do with managers, not to do with a director of football or a chairman or whatever else. It's the manager. It's the guy that comes in and heads up the footballing department.
Well, the manager.
And the reason we're attracting these type of managers, guys, even listen, people can say what they want, right? Ronnie Delia was the right manager at the wrong time, but Ronnie Delia spearheaded this model Celtic are now operating from in realistic terms.
Yep.
Ronnie Delia was a pioneer of the change in terms of the way Celtic operate. He brought it in. He brought that idea in. You need to be flexible. You need to be able to do this. Your youths need to do it as well. And having it running from first team down into your under 12s or under 11s or whatever it may be, so that they're all playing the same way by the time they get to first team football. And then Brendan Rodgers came in and oversaw it and added wee bits to it himself. And then after that, Neil Lennon came in and still operated it the same way, never really changed much. People can say what they want about Neil. He was a manager at that particular time, but there was lots of things happening at that particular time as well in terms of the first team. Celtic were coming to the end of a cycle. And what happened at that time was Celtic just particularly, no stopped, but they skipped a year in terms of freshening up the team tried to keep a hold of what they thought was their assets, guys like Edward, Aya, Christie. Reneged on promises that they would have let these guys go should they got replacements. Because of COVID, it knackered the whole thing. They weren't able to let these guys go because not necessarily were able to bring in replacements. So I think overall, Francis, no, I think the model that we work from just now is top class. And I think it's elite level, the way we do it. So I'm happy the way things are. We've got a scouting network. It's, you know, we're now networking in countries that other teams wouldn't even dream of going to. You know, Korea, Japan. And not necessarily, you know, I know you've said yourself, Ryan, you don't want to keep signing players from that ilk, but to network in these countries, South America, places like that, you need a top class setup. You need a top class fundamental. And we're able to do that now. It's elite level stuff, you know. It's not just one or two guys sitting on a table saying, right, I've found players here. You know, far gone are the days that we're linked with guys from championship clubs. Or, you know, again, we might very well be in the future, but it will be within the model that we're operating from at the moment. Because this guy might be like another Ivan Toney, who's young, but he's aspiring to be, I don't know, Harry Kane. I'm just giving that as an example, Ryan. That might not just be the case.
No, but you're spot on.
That's
though,
the reason why we're allowed to do that and why we can operate like that is because of the model that we're operating from, guys. So
you're right.
I think that's something to keep. I think that's something to keep in mind. We're attracting managers like Brendan Rodgers.
Yep.
First of all, yeah, we're very lucky that Brendan Rodgers is a big Celtic supporter, and has been from he was a kid. But do I think Brendan Rodgers, not being a Celtic fan, would still come to Celtic? Yes, I do, because of the model we're operating from. Celtic are massive.
You're spot on. No, you're right. You're right, mate, because you can just reference it to our side of the water, right? It doesn't matter who you bring in there or now because the infrastructure isn't right.
It's not
right. The boardroom's not right. The way they're handling stuff behind the scenes is not right. But the way we're up, see by disaster, you lose the league, right? Which, in my opinion, going to happen. It's just going to get bigger and bigger, right? Doesn't matter who they bring in. We'll bounce back next year because we've got a recruitment there. We've got a board. Everything's set up, right? Okay,
Celtic's transfer business is two windows, maybe even three windows ahead, right?
We are set up to bounce back because everything's on place. You've got everything behind the scenes. You've got things getting built behind the scenes.
Yep.
Rodgers come in and says the infrastructure's basically what he wanted
when he was there the first
year
time.
ago, whatever it is. And now he's got it and he's like, wow, I've got everything here that I need. I know people are saying that they want Rodgers to have the big hands and the signings. He would not come back if he thought that they were signing the players from. I think people JP caught.
They just misconstrued what he says. That was all. We understand what he says, but a lot of people who maybe don't understand.
I think people don't understand fully like kind of what goes on with the transfers. So you get a recruitment team. They do their job. They look at players like we've obviously had a lot for William and you get just say there's five of them. Just Lawwell and
by the way, we're very, very fortunate.
Yeah. So we've got a bit of understanding how it all works. So you've got a recruitment team. They go and look at the stats and the data. They look at the videos. They look at the players. They all sit down. This guy, do we go for him? We can't get him. We'll go to him. They've got a list, and they'll go to the manager. Right, there's a list. We can get him. Do you want him? Have a look at him, and the manager will sign it off. I know what Rodgers says. It looks like, I get what I'm given, but he's still go to see the player because I think gone now, JP, are the days where you need to know what you're buying. In my opinion, you need to know what you're buying, and for me, Rodgers is an elite manager, JP. Nobody will tell me differently.
No, of course he is.
The club he's managed, he's been successful everywhere he's went. I think I said to you last week, mate, hand in my heart, mate, if he won the league with Liverpool, I don't think we would have got him. I think he stopped would have been that high that he'd have been either stayed at Liverpool and continued to be successful, or he would have moved on to a higher, to maybe some. I personally feel he's destined to manage abroad, i.e. if it's Valencia, Barcelona, I'm just talking about a foreign team. I think he's destined to manage foreign. I think he suits that type of style. He knows all the languages. He's been to, I think he's been to Valencia. He was younger to go and watch coaching sessions.
Yeah.
I think he's destined, once he leaves us or maybe somebody else in the future, I think he's maybe, again, I'm only reading between the lines. I don't know if it's true. I think he's destined to manage abroad in terms of Spain or whatever. I think that's just his style of play suits it. And I think because he's here now, like I says with Ange, I appreciate when he's here because he could, listen, I know he says he's guaranteed to be here, but we all know football, mate. If next year something could pop up in his life that he's got to family commitments or anything could pop up, mate, that he got to leave. So just appreciate, man. I don't see all this about why we signed. We've got to just, something you've got to take us. I know we want all the best players, we want to go and spend, I'm the same, I want to go and spend £10 million a player. I've said it all along, I want to say...
I'm sorry to cut in. See what Danny's saying there in terms of, like, players for career, and if so, Rodgers isn't picking the player. No manager picks the players in this modern day type of football.
The way we understand that...
the way it's understood is that the recruitment team go and identify players that the manager wants in terms of positions.
Yep.
So the manager will maybe go sit round the table and he'll say, I need a goalkeeper, a left fullback, a central midfielder, and another centre forward. And he'll leave a meeting, and then the recruitment team will go, and they will go and use their network, and they will go and identify these players to fit the model and the way Celtic play. Now, it's not just about, Danny, it's not just about the how good a player he is. Because we've seen it before, mate. You can be some of the best players in the world, but you can have the wrong personality to match it. So you've got to be able to fit into this group as well. It's not just about, see when you sign players now, you don't just go and sign players because of their footballing ability. You sign players because they are now brands. They are footballing brands. Kids, especially younger guys, like guys in 18, 19, 20, like young Abada. Celtic went and signed him because he's also got a personality. He's also then got a brand behind him, of what Celtic maybe have an idea in maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the line of what that's going to look like in terms of what Abada may well look like in 5 years' time after we sign him. And then Celtic look at that as a business sense in terms of, are we going to sell this guy on? Right, okay. So if we sell this guy on, what would we then be looking to do? Are we looking to make money? Are we looking to develop this lad? Are we looking to do? Or what do we do? Do we go and sign a guy in 20, 26, 27, 28 in terms of like Kyogo, who doesn't need develop, but he needs to come into the team straight away? There's lots of different ways of operating that, Danny. And I really do think that the modern day now, the way of doing it, Danny, no manager actually just goes to the board. Oh, here I want go and get me that boy Paqueta at West Ham, or go and get. That's not how it works. Brendan Rodgers is far too busy of a man operating his day-to-day business than he probably know of certain players and individuals that he's worked with through time in football. But for him to, the due diligence for Brendan would be when the recruitment team come to him with names and say, listen, we found this guy, he's in Japan, this is what he does, this is what he brings to the team. Do you want to have a look at him? And Brendan will probably say, yeah, send it over, and he'll probably get his laptop open and whatever he does. Or I'm only surmising that because it's been explained to me that scenario arises like that.
Well, that's why you get, like you said there, mate, so in terms of what you're saying, it's the same thing Abda just says, mate. That's kind of what goes on. That's why you've got a recruitment team. If you look at a Graham across the water, look at the guys they've signed, because the manager went and signed two. This is what I don't care what anybody says, JP. You don't need any qualifications in football to spot a good play. Obviously, you need to know football. You need to know ins and outs of football or how a guy plays. But their ex-manager went to Italy to look at players, signed them, and quite frankly, as it stands right now, excuse my French, I know I'm not playing football, but they don't look up to the job. They look hopeless. at this level. And this is what I'm saying. He's went to watch them, so that's why you need a recruitment team.
He didn't, mate. He just went to Italy and had a bowl of pasta and a bottle of red wine, and it was the guy. It was the guys come into pub selling things, and it was one of them was Big Lammers.
Chicken Milanese dressers. He was wanting.
Chicken Milanese dressers and big streaky gammon Lammers. He ended up. It was like brother Pedro coming back to Portugal with Dalcio, remember?
Aye.
Just a guy met in the plane coming here and he's like, what game? Just struggling for bodies.
I think people kind of, they don't surmise exactly what, I think the manager sits round laptops and he goes to go.
Aye.
That doesn't happen. International managers, Steve
and by the way, Brian, here's something, right? Here's a bit of food for thought. I wouldn't be surprised if John Kennedy does a very massive job in terms of going and helping identify these guys.
We don't know that. We have not got the fruits of behind the scenes and what guys do, but what we and you, if we talk to guys on here and also know people in the game now, the right Celtic, not just Celtic, just even recruitment staff at Man City. Yeah. Man City have got the City group, people with RA guys, they deal with that. Obviously, go to Guardiola, and these guys at the top level, they've got families as well, remember, so and
by the way, folks, what Ryan just said there as well is spot on in terms of, see the City group. If Celtic didn't do things at an elite level, the City group would have no dealings with us whatsoever. Yeah. And we have got a massive relationship with the City group also.
I think the thing that I would like, if people who don't go and watch a Newcastle documentary on Amazon Prime,
unbelievable,
and watch the Sunderland Till I Die documentary, they show you ins and outs. I know the Sunderland man might not be the best in terms of quality, but in terms of how a board doing works, a list of players, we can't get him, we'll go to him, give him the manager. The recruitment process at football clubs now is night and day. But guys, like Steve Clark might go and watch it.
See the Newcastle documentary, mate. It also highlights one thing for us all as well. I know Corvo's normally on chatting with us, and he's a big Newcastle fan, but I think what it highlights also is we'd have been very lucky to have Eddie Howe, because he's a great operator as well.
Eddie Howe would have been brilliant, mate.
That's what I'm saying, but that gives you a good insight as to the man himself also. If Andy didn't really, if a lot of your fans maybe didn't know Eddie Howe, or
I still say
know what he was about,
Eddie Howe would have. I'm not going to say they won his trebles, but I've made out that Eddie Howe didn't necessarily mate his
the similarity in terms of what bouncing back and winning the title, right? I think that would have happened under him regardless.
One thing talking about as an operator with Rodgers, one thing I don't want people to think, don't be worried that if he was to go or when he goes, because let's be fair, no manager's going to stay at the club for 10 years now, especially at this level. He's always going to get looked at, and very well what happened anymore. We'll get somebody just as good, because that's the way we are working. It's a base we've got behind us. People criticise Lawwell, and listen, we've all got opinions. But in the be-on
listen, you look at the other guys we were linked to, Enzo Mariesca, a very good operator, and look at what he's doing with Leicester as well. Again, these guys are linked to Celtic for a reason.
I seen the day Jim White came out and then talks about he says that Graham Souness wanted Frank Lampard. There you go. That was the guy that they go in to help them.
Aye, but he was wanting me painting Swiss or something, I heard
Aye, but mate, that's what I'm saying. Imagine us going to Martin O'Neill and Gordon Stratton saying, look guys, going to my head pick a manager. That's you saying you can't do your job properly.
It's mental, innit?
It was different with Alex Ferguson, because Alex Ferguson was still, I know he's getting a bit older now, but he still had these marbles about him when they hit.
I find it really weird that the backstory of Gordon Strachan becoming a Celtic manager all originated through Sir Alex Ferguson.
Aye, but was it on Cheltenham or something?
It was something to do with the racing, minute. And
was it Cheltenham?
Because he was pally with Dermot, and he's like at him. Do you want to? He's like, if Strachan says he's like at me, do you want a Celtic job, wee man?
Aye. Look, but for me, mate,
how are you asking me, do I want a Celtic job? Because I know the guy that runs Celtic.
Listen, we can criticise the board for the European and no pushing out and stuff, but see in terms of the way we run, mate, it's phenomenal.
Elite level, mate.
I know. Listen, I'll criticise that.
That's another reason I think, Ryan, why we've saw what we've saw this season in terms of all of our players and what we would say our assets are all signing new deals, and we're hearing now that CCV and your favourite, we Oxo,
are just about to sign
So I'm afraid, lads, if you see Ryan in the next couple of weeks and you see Ryan's not on, I can confirm he will be drinking his bleach, as Greg Taylor has announced, for his new 5-year contract outside Celtic Park.
But if I do believe, mate, that these guys are obviously. Listen, I know people saying that Hattati's signing a deal because it's going to sweeten us for money wise. Aye, rightly so it will. But no football player is going to sign a deal if they don't want to be at a club.
And he does his interview and about Brendan Rodgers and says no. But
for me, mate, the last bit I'll say on Rodgers, mate, and listen, I'll talk about him to help, mate. I think he's an elite football manager compared to the guy that they've just signed as well. He's night and day compared to him as well. So no matter what they do, mate, it's no good. Like I says, mate, I kind of feel for the boy Clement because he's not going to have an infrastructure to walk into and do his job. He's got to do all that like a full rebuild again because he's going to have to sit in the summer or January and do all that behind the scenes work because they've no got behind the scenes. They've no got the work that we've got. We've got a top class operating team behind the scenes. As much as we want to go and sign £10 million players, I get that and we all get frustrated. But the way we work behind the scenes, mate, it's the most money. I know again it's the most money we've had while we're signing players, but again, mate, see if we win the league next year, it's like Steve Clark says, mate, it's bye-bye Rangers for the Scottish football for years. But I just thought I'd leave it on that.
Yeah, no, I think you've summed it up perfectly there, mate. I think, like you've said before, Ryan, we could probably chat, all night and all week about the manager, things that are happening, things that are going on. But yeah, I think you've summed it up perfectly tonight. In terms of the way things are, a couple of questions that have come in terms of the recruitment, the manager, Francis. Thank you very much, mate, for asking us about the director of football and stuff. Because again, guys, this is something we're going to implement maybe over the next week or so. We are going to actually do a night where we're going to kind of turn it into a bit of a Q&A. So we'll get you guys involved in terms of you guys in the comments. We'll get you to give us your questions within reason. By the way, I might add, I don't know what you lot are like, so I'm going to say within reason, and we'll keep it on the football rather than anything before MD's minds start to run wild. We'll keep it on the football. I might have disappointed a few people in the Ryan, but that's a shame, as they say, as Fats Domino says, ain't that a shame? But no, as I said, mate, I think you've summed that up well, and it's been another good wee chat tonight, mate.
No, like it says, mate, it's the question and answer thing, something we're going to implement very soon. As much as we love talking, we like, obviously, this podcast is for the fans, and we want fans to ask us our opinions. We'll ask you good opinions, so it'd be good to get kind of questions. And if it's the football, if it's Brendan Rodgers, if it's players who want to sign, anything at all but the club and football.
This wee guy here.
Hi, Viok. So myself, Alan, and Jai Peel, and even Barry when he's on as well. Probably a good thing we would do when Barry is on. If there's any question to Barry, again, he's still playing at a very high level and he knows the game inside out. So if there's probably a guy to ask questions, it will be him as well. So
I do us a favour. Make sure you do ask him questions so referee don't gang up on me the next time about something that's going on in Celtic. So that I don't need to bring my boxing gloves that night.
But when Baz is on as well, again, it's probably one guy you could ask a lot of questions about football, and obviously knows Monjo IP in terms of endurance of the game. He's played at the highest level and he's still playing at the highest level. So when guys Barry's on, I think it'd be a good thing to do. JP's obviously people want to ask questions. It'd be a good thing to kind of get involved in. So that'd be good. Yes. We're going to implement that very soon.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Obviously, before we finish up, folks, as we all know, this podcast is now sponsored by AB Entertainment. And the AB stands for Mr. Alec Beveridge. And the entertainment business is a DJ business, DJ and entertainment business. And anyone at all looking for any sort of parties, functions, anything at all you've got coming up, then you get a special birthday. Similar to Ryan here, who's turning 30 soon. Or myself turning 40, and you want some entertainment for a party or any night, please look no further than this company here. The number on the screen, if you can't see it, is 07845 746092. And that's a WhatsApp as well. So he's on WhatsApp, he's on Facebook, and he's on Instagram. So anybody, again, guys, looking for some entertainment, please contact your man. Ryan, also, mate, while we're here, as well, just letting everybody know, we've also got some Celtic Unrestricted View podcast merchandise. So we've got these fantastic mugs. These mugs are priced at £5. And we've got these key rings also up for grabs, folks. These are priced at £1.50. How to get them, guys? You just message us and you tell us that what you want, what you're looking for, and we'll get them to you. You can message us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can also message us in the community section of the YouTube channel. Again, guys, anybody that's tuning in for the first time and you like what you have saw in terms of the content, please like and subscribe to the podcast and also share it amongst your Celtic family also. The reason for that is it helps bring us the content to you guys, helps us bring guests on, like Barry Bannon, although he's not a guest, he's more part of the furniture now. But guys are at Oak as well, and it helps us to bring that to you and do it comfortably. So obviously when they know there's going to be genuine interest, people are more interested in coming on and having a chat with us. The one I'm gutted I never get a chance to, and I'm going to get him back on, is young Timmy Mialby. I wanted to get a chat with him, so hopefully we can get him back on. I'll try and work my magic, Ryan, see if we can do. I know you're running out of bags of salt and vinegar, mate. You need to keep them for yourself when Oxo signs that new deal. So I can't offer them, mate. So I need to. Danny, you behave yourself, son. That'll be your last comment on this podcast. Thank you very much. Listen to that midlife crisis caper. End up giving me a complex, Danny. You behave. But all in all, Ryan, it's been a really good chat, mate. It's been good to. It's actually been a wee while, mate, for myself and you were on a Monday evening.
It's been a while, mate.
I better let you go because you're getting geared up to.
I've got suspenders now tonight for the half 10 show, but I can't wait, man.
This wee guy here's ready to bust out into, man. He's ready to. He's just like the last comment there about what about Madonna.
By the way, here, but
like you striking a pose.
Madonna, by the way, still no bad. Still no bad. I heard she's wanting the half 10 show, but after we're not.
She might not be available tonight, mate. I heard she's away on holiday.
Aye, she'll be like sangria in the sun.
Aye, she's away striking a pose in Tenerife somewhere, isn't her? Well, you better thank your lucky stars I'm here with you, mate, otherwise it would have been a boring night for you. But all in all, folks, again, everybody that's commented in, thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you for coming on tonight, and thank you very much. It's been nice being back on having a chat. When are we back on, boss?
Myself, I think you're on as well, Wednesday. Back on Wednesday. Wednesday and then Friday, I think, as well. We're back on this week. So, yep, okay. Back on as usual for the Friday, 8:30. No, the night time we're doing it. During the day we're doing.
I don't know. You've done that many shows, you're getting mixed up now.
I'll tell you after half 10 how I feel. No.
I think you and Alan know football monitoring balls reminded me here that you know on during the day.
Aye, because you can't make it, you know, that's right, innit?
No, I'm busy. I've got
Friday will be 8:30 again, usual.
I've got more annual leave that day.
Aye, saying that after mid annual leave, and I think the cows have had annual leave.
Oh, no, you definitely have, mate.
So
I'm actually going in to look at the holiday book because honestly, man, I don't know who keeps approving these holidays. I'm going to have a word with him.
You're about to book the water polo.
I've only been away. I've done a caravan. That was it.
Brilliant.
I'm away. I need to. By the way, I really do. I need to. I need to. I do need to get water polo booked. I think, man, it's been long overdue.
we're back on Wednesday, Friday. So might just be on Thursday for available. We'll see what's we can over this week. But again, we're back on Wednesday and Friday as usual. So again, we appreciate the comments. We appreciate all the questions, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on every platform. Like JP says, everything we do is for free. Free content for the fans. The more we get subscriptions, the more we get shares to the Celtic fans and stuff, the more we can get guests we have on the past. So I know it's a big thing for the shows, getting guests on and getting people in the game's opinions. That's one reason why we do it. So please share it with your family, like, shared as much as we can. We appreciate it a lot, and hopefully keep liking the content.
Yes, and keep an eye on the social media and obviously the community section of the YouTube page. There will be a couple of updates coming in there about what's happening in terms of the podcast itself, and I think we'll get a wee quiz on the go for you this week as well if I can get Big McCourt to stop cheating, and we'll see what happens. But all in all, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thanks again. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail. Take care.
Well, all right, lads. Guten Tag.